my mom was so worried that she had to take me to hospital to give me an injection to calm me down. Hi, my name is Carol Smile and I am creating honest and vulnerable videos on my channel. Today we had a requested video of how denying your emotions, stopping yourself from feeling something, denial, self-denial, or just bottling up emotions is not good for you. And why? Well, if you've seen my previous video, in my previous video I've been talking about losing my father when I was 10 and how it affected me. Basically, I have denied my emotions and it resulted in me not being able to cry, but in other stuff that I'm gonna be talking about a little bit later. But if you haven't done so, just so you have a little bit of context, go and check that video. Some music is playing. So, that was weird. Please don't leave this video. I promise I'll be normal, maybe. If you've seen my previous video, you can see that my dad passed away when I was 10. And my reaction was that I was crying when I found out. So when my mom told me, I obviously cried. And then I was actually on a holiday at my cousin's house. And when my mom cried, I had, I don't know how long, a bit of time that I cried. And then she asked me, do you want to go home? And that's really when I guess it started. Actually, no, it started even before, because my dad was in a hospital for 1 year. It was not nice. It was not something pleasant, and that could have been actually what it started, because seeing him there, maybe I can make another video about that, but I'm not sure. It was not great. He was just not good, let's say that. And as a little girl, seeing him in that kind of way was really difficult, and I think that's where my denial really started, because I don't even think my friends knew about it. I didn't tell anyone. Yeah, no one around me knew. And when my mom told me that he passed away, it was a shock, because, you don't really think that it could happen. Yes, he was in a hospital for a year, but you just don't admit to yourself that that can happen. That is a possibility. No, that is not a possibility in your mind. Anyway, when she told me, I cried, and then I said, no, I want to stay here. So when I walked out that door, I actually wrote a poem about that. Maybe I can share it with you guys in the next video if you want to. Comment down below if you want me to share a poem that I wrote about that. But when I walked out that door, I put this mask on my face and I have pretended that everything is okay. I wasn't sure if my auntie and my cousin knew. I presume they probably had. I presume that my mum probably told them why she came. But, I pretended that everything is fine. How did I do that? I have no idea. But I had. And I continued doing that. I continued pretending that everything is fine in front of my friends and my teachers and everybody around me, even my mum. Even my mum thought I actually handled it really well. And I thought that too, because I couldn't really cry. about it when I was thinking about it. I mean, I probably wasn't thinking even about it that much. I just tried to put that emotion somewhere, you know? I tried not to think about it. And that is really bad. If you are going through anything difficult, not feeling it, or trying to make yourself think that you're not feeling sad or emotional or just terrible, that's not healthy. Because nothing will get resolved. You will push it in like a little box somewhere down there. You will just kind of like hide it in front of yourself, but it's still there. Because it's only when you open that box and you start taking the emotions out. Yes, it will be painful, but it's necessary. Why? That's what we're going to talk about today. It's because emotions, your mental state, your mental health influences your physical health as well, and vice versa. Your mental health influences your physical health, or your physical state, or everything. Your emotions influence everything. And when I have denied this sorrow to myself, what I've done is that those emotions wanted to go out. And they needed to go out somehow, because I've bottled them. You know, that's what happens. It's like blowing a balloon, and with every little blow, it will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and one day, with one blow, it will explode. And I guess that was what was happening during the year that he was in hospital, and during other things that were happening in my life, and me still pretending that I was happy and super happy child and everything was fine, and in front of myself as well. It exploded. Not in a way that I would be mean to other people, which can happen as well, by the way, but in a way that my physical health was influenced. I've started to be ill very, very often. My immune system got so bad. I started being ill a few times in 1 month, 2 times. I don't know. I can say that the same amount of time I spent at school, I would spend at home. Maybe even more. I don't know. Unfortunately, my teachers and my classmates probably thought I am not actually ill. But I was. My immune system just kind of collapsed. And I would just get ill all the time. And it caused many issues in my life. Even at school, not only the absence, not so much with marks. I think it's a miracle because I was able to still kind of catch up on what they were doing, but yeah, people started not being nice to me because of that, which is ridiculous. Kids and stuff, they can be mean, and teachers somehow. Sometimes you have teachers that, you know, are burnt out from years and years of doing it, or they just don't really see what's going on behind, in the scenes behind. Anyway, you know, that is one thing that can happen. It can really influence your health. Not only did it influence my immune system, but it had influenced my body in a way, you know, you have this tension, this terrible, terrible tension, and this tension had to go away as well. So I would, you know, always feel tension, but not only that, I started having tics. If you don't know what tics is, it's kind of like a twitching. You have to, it's like you have like a really weird sensation and you just have to move it to relieve that sensation. And that's what was happening, and I had it like kind of all around my body, but mostly in my core. And one time it was so bad. It looked like I had epileptic attack, or how you call it. And my mom was so worried that she had to take me to hospital to give me an injection to calm me down. I got in hands of the wrong doctors, and it's just all, it was all a mess. Instead of them trying to find out why this is happening, they were just trying to fix it in different ways, and it was just, that's another story. So your mental health will correlate with your physical health. That is one thing that can happen, and that is because bottling up your emotions or denying yourself from feeling emotions is not good. It's natural for us people, it's natural to feel. Of course, I'm not saying, you know, be always sad and just always cry and be always like, oh, life is terrible and I'm just gonna sit and cry. Yes, sometimes there are obviously people who feel like that. Just let your emotions out. Another thing is, when, as I was talking about the balloon, it will explode. And it can explode in a way that you're gonna have anger issues, or you're gonna have issues, you know, it can influence your relationships with your partner or with your family or with your friends. It can influence you in a way that you have no idea, that you're perhaps acting different, and it's all because it's down there, it's somewhere, and it's not coming out. So, you know, you just want to get rid of it subconsciously. You need to get rid of it. That is why they advise in for example, marriages and relationships, that communication is the key. You know, if you have a problem with something, you need to say it in a way, obviously, that will be sensitive and not hurting somebody. But if you're not saying it, if you're like, okay, I'm not gonna say anything, and then the next time I'm not gonna say anything, I'm not gonna cause a trouble, and then, you know, it's gonna bottle up and then you will explode. That's why they advise to speak up calmly, but say it and deal with issues where it happens and when it happens. So that's another reason. You know, and then I guess when you deny it, not only it can cause issues like this, but you will not resolve it. You can't really move past it. It is good to first of all admit it to yourself. Be honest with yourself and spend some time just letting it go. I can't tell you how long. For everybody is different. For everybody is one day, just, you know, crying or just being sad, letting yourself feeling it. But doing it, for somebody it can be months. It can be months. For everybody is different, but it's an important way to heal. And another thing is, talk to somebody. Don't try to pretend that you are this, you know, hero that's over it, if that's not true. Because really, you're hurting yourself more. And yes, some people have trust issues. Some people don't feel like talking to somebody. But try. Think about one person, or if there is no one in your surrounding, in your environment, just try to find somebody What I would love for this channel to be would be people helping each other. So if there is somebody that needs someone to talk to, comment down below under this video, and hopefully I pray that there will be people who are going to be ready to talk to you. And yeah, that would be just great. Or message me. I am not a professional and I am not great with replying to messages, but you can message me on Instagram. My Instagram is here, and I'll try to, to listen to you, and just, you do need to talk about it somehow and let it feel. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be the fact that you lost somebody. It can be whatever. It can be whatever your situation is. I'm not going to give examples because, it can be honestly anything. As I've mentioned in the previous video, there is strength in being vulnerable. Many men in this century, or for so many centuries I guess, were told, oh, you have to be strong. And when you grow up, it's like, boys don't cry, don't cry. Like, are you hurting? Don't cry. Boys don't cry. And that's not really true. If you're a man and sometimes you feel like crying, cry. There is strength in crying, and whoever is telling you that men are emotionless or don't cry, that is rubbish. And if you grew up in that kind of environment, it's not really healthy for you. And I'm just really hoping that finally we are coming in this time when we're gonna stop telling little boys that they must be strong and not feel emotions. Almost like, it's almost like we're telling them this, not obviously literally, but by telling them boys don't cry, it's like you're telling them you can't allow yourself being vulnerable. And yes, it's great when a man has, those qualities, or woman even, it doesn't matter. If a person, if an individual is strong, it doesn't mean that they can't cry. I'm gonna repeat that. You can be strong and you can cry. Being vulnerable is actually a strength, because you are allowing somebody to listen to you, to hear your problems. You are letting somebody to see your thoughts, and that is scary. It can be scary for some people. Some people obviously don't have problem with that, but it's worth it. For some people it can be, it can be God. For me, it is God and Jesus, and I know that He knows everything that I feel, and He was the one that has healed me from not being able to cry. I'm gonna make a video about how it kind of felt that I couldn't cry, and I will share a story also in a separate video of how I was healed from that. How God has actually healed me. I can share the story about that because it was honestly a miracle. It was a miracle, and I couldn't have done that by myself, because I just got myself really, really deep in that circle of denial, of that trauma. I hope I'll see you in the next video. Please like this video and comment if you want more content, because it will tell me that that it's worth and that someone actually wants to hear this, because I do believe that what I'm saying, some people will be able to relate to it, and some people hopefully. I hope that it was helpful, and I hope that I'll see you in the next video. Yeah, this is my Instagram and my amazing friend's Instagram. that was editing this video for me. Thank you so much, Tereza. And yeah, see you next time. Ciao, ciao.